Here is your first must-know tool, footwork and legs, foot placement. When we're dancing, we never want to have pigeon toes. That means where our toes are turning inside. We never want to do that. We want to make sure our toes slightly pointing outwards, what we call turnout. We're going to begin with your toes, and we determine we want to slightly point the toes out. Your feet are together. When I say feet together, I mean having your heels touching all the time, whether your toes are touching or not. Then we're moving on to understanding flat step or a demi-point or a full point. We also want to determine straight legs. So we want to have straight legs, or we can also slightly bend. The second must-know tool is your posture and body alignment. We want to start off with our feet together, your legs straight. Pull up with your belly button and tuck in your core. This also needs subtle tucking of your glutes. Close the rib cage, shoulders down, chest up, and bring your hands slightly in front of you, away from the body. Elbows up, and your hands below your elbows. Now we just slightly shift the weight, 60% onto the ball of the foot and 40 on the heels. Your third must-know tool is your arms. Very simply, you can have two choices. Number one, they can be directly to the side of your body. Number two, you can always bring it slightly in front, which is my preference. And we want to also feel a subtle engagement of your lats, and your exercise can be by going up and compressing down, kind of like you can pretend you're pushing on a table or so, and you can feel that resistance. This is very important for connection and for other tools we'll be talking about later on. Your fourth must-know tool is your weight placement. A lot of dancers, when they have 50-50 distribution of their weight, sometimes when they shift to one leg, they leave the body behind. Now, for some dances, that might be okay, but in salsa, it's so fast that sometimes we need to determine whether our placement needs to be 50-50 and our center and body alignment as well placed in between your feet, or once you shift to one leg, you take your whole body onto that one leg. And if you were able to pick up your leg and check that balance, you would be able to 100% commit to that one leg. So therefore, we either are 50-50 or we shift and commit with the body to one leg. Now we're going to move on to two elements of partner dancing. Number one is about your space. We're going to bring our hands up high, parallel to the floor, palms down, elbows slightly away from the body. Your wrist, while dancing, especially for the ladies, we want to make sure that they're never broken or twisted up. We always want to have them straight in one alignment with your partner. We also do not want to bring our partner into our space, so therefore our elbows don't go back, and we definitely don't want to go into your partner's space. We're going to apply spacing and move on to number two, resistance and connection. We begin by understanding one of the most asked questions by leaders is how to hold the lady and resistance. Well, it's very simple. It's like shaking hands. What happens when we shake hands is very natural. We mold into what we're touching. So if, for example, we shook hands and the other party, which is me in this case, didn't complete the shake, then it would be very difficult to shake hands, and it's not normal. And there's different things that happen with dancers and ladies or gentlemen. We nearly touch the hand. That's not how we shake hands, right? So while the gentleman has to lead us through different transitions and the hand switches, I would recommend for the ladies to simply end the gentleman cupping of the hands. And definitely not where your fingers are closed, but opened. Connection. Simple exercise. This will help you understand a little bit of how your body needs to apply to your connection with your partner. And we're going to use 1 through 10 resistance, 1 being the lightest and 10 being extremely full connection. And if we're in 1, our bodies are slightly just neutral. We're nearly just touching. We're not pushing or anything. If we go on to 3, we want to include our body slightly into that connection without letting our elbows move. Then we can go into 5 connection, an 8 connection, back to a 5 connection. This is a simple exercise to determine your space and resistance.